Pastor Dan here from Dexter Gospel Church. Thanks for watching this Proverbs Practical. Today's proverb gives one of the destinations to which real wisdom leads us. We're in Proverbs 8:21. Wisdom is speaking, and it says, "That I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures." So we saw in the last verse and video that godly wisdom is not purely pragmatic. It makes decisions based on ideals of right and wrong. Often people tend to reject such idealism as naive, thinking that it won't work, won't prosper, just tends to self-righteous defeat. But genuinely pursuing the ideals of trust, truth, justice comes from courage and faith, which are both wise. Now this verse tells us where following such a path actually leads. It says that those who love that righteous walking wisdom inherit substance and have treasures filled. While wisdom has an impact that goes far beyond this world, in this world, right decisions do tend toward prosperity. I think it's interesting that the first aspect of this is inheritance, not profit from selling something or a trade deal or something like that. Where do we get an inheritance from? Well, usually our relationships, particularly family relationships, and especially in a stable, prosperous family. So real wisdom tends to lead to having good relationships and stable families and connections, and that leads to good outcomes across the boards. Now, we have to be careful not to get the cause and effect backwards. It's not that decisions that tend toward wealth are wise, it's that wise decisions tend toward wealth. The human tendency is to try to make the decisions that we think, based on our limited sight and knowledge, will lead to the greatest substance and treasures, and then we'll pass that off as wisdom. Wisdom, however, real wisdom, godly wisdom, instead of outcomes, is focused on process, on the way of righteousness. But that process, even though it's counterintuitive sometimes and doesn't look like it's going to work in our limited knowledge and perspective, leads to positive outcomes. And we should take into account that throughout this whole book, the point has been made that there are things that are more valuable than money, than treasures, than physical possessions. Righteous wisdom tends to fill us with those things even more than it does with money. However, on a practical level, good decisions do usually result in good outcomes. Of course, I have to say this with the usual caveat that this does not mean that every wealthy person is righteous and wise, or that every poor person is foolish and unrighteous. That's not the point of these proverbs. They are pointing out tendencies and patterns, and they must be taken that way. But don't discount this tendency. Those with wisdom, those who consistently make decisions based on right and wrong as seen from God's eyes, tend to come out ahead of those who reject that wisdom. It's simply the way the world works. Why does it work that way? Because it was built by the one who is the source of this wisdom. I hope that this video is a help to you. If so, give it a thumbs up to give it a like. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more comments on the scriptures. We'd love to see you in the comments to these videos, and we'd love to see you in person here at Dexter Gospel Church. Until next time, I hope you stay well and receive the blessings that wisdom gives.